Hello everybody and welcome back to WWE Universe. I am your host Jitch and you are watching Monday Night Raw from Phoenix, Arizona, kicking things off with the light heavyweight champion, Chris Jericho. August is coming to an end and September is on its way as we are looking towards a pay-per-view for Monday Night Raw known as Night of Champions. Tonight we are going to be finding out the #1 contender for both the Women's Championship as well as the World Tag Team Championship. And in our main event we'll be determining a #1 contender for the WWE Championship. But here tonight, the light heavyweight champion Chris Jericho, who will be amongst those defending at Night of Champions, will be seeing his first title defense. And as it currently stands, no one is in line for a shot at his title. Justin Gabriel, the former champion, unfortunately, a very short-lived reign. Oh, he might be due a title shot. He did have a successful defense. That's a bit of a technicality there. It's a short-lived reign, but he did have a title defense. Well, the man that proved the Miz innocent is on his way to the ring right now. R-Truth says that he was a witness to what went down. He's seen that Raw is corrupt, that the McMahons are corrupt, and Mr. McMahon has promised that R-Truth needs to be kept quiet, and he'll make sure that happens one way or another. I think McMahon kind of toying with the idea of Chris Jericho being a part of whatever this unholy union that he is forming here on Raw is. He wants to see if Jericho can shut Truth up tonight in this one-on-one matchup. And of course Jericho, well, I guess he's going to be a bit of a yes man to Miss McMahon in his first night here on Raw. He got more than he got from his time over on SmackDown. Yes, Chris Jericho is one half of the first ever WWE Tag Team Champions with another man here on Raw. I'm talking about The Miz. But that was all the way back in 2009. Jericho feels he's been very disrespected upon his return to the WWE by SmackDown management John Laurinaitis, and says that he is getting truly what he deserves now that he is here on Raw. So Chris Jericho up against R-Truth here tonight as we kick off Monday Night Raw. Up next, we've got ourselves a #1 contenders match for the Women's Championship. Now, call me crazy here, but I don't think someone in this match belongs. But we've seen the record, we've seen how things have gone, so I'm not too concerned. Up next, we are going to be seeing Stephanie McMahon compete against Layla. Layla is someone who has competed multiple times against the Women's Champion, Tiny Shiny, as well as by her side. But anytime those women have faced off, we have not actually seen a pinfall from Tiny Shiny on Layla in a successful defense. So I think there's something to be proven there, and I can understand why Layla is now pursuing the Women's Championship that is in possession of Tiny Shiny. She's got to get through Stephanie McMahon in our following matchup. We've also got in our third match slot of tonight, the World Tag Team Championship will see a new set of contenders determined. The former champions, Disciples of Darkness, have actually got to prove themselves, we've been told, as they are going to be facing off against the Hart Foundation. I think this is a little bit corrupt here. The Disciples of Darkness held those championships for almost, if not 3 months. It feels like a bit of a misjudgment to have to make them prove themselves, but I don't know. Apparently only the best of the best are allowed to get a foot in the ring with the legacy. Right now, R-Truth is just getting manhandled by Chris Jericho. We've really come to Raw with a new outlook on life after the history that he experienced over on SmackDown. Very similar to his rival over on SmackDown before coming here to Raw, as a matter of fact, CM Punk, who got a kind of a new outlook on life upon going over to SmackDown. And as a matter of fact, actually, if Chris Jericho remains light heavyweight champion, for the next couple months, as CM Punk remains European champion for the next couple months. Those two will face off in a triple threat with whoever is holding the Hardcore Championship at this year's Survivor Series. So we could see a rivalry renewed there for one night only. But that is all the way in November. We don't really need to be looking that far in the future. We've also got in our fourth match of the night, the Intercontinental Championship has been determined that it will be on the line after the Raw Rumble last week. Booker T, in McMahon's eyes, still hasn't proved himself just yet. He wants to see if Booker T truly deserves it, so he's thrown Booker T in a Raw Roulette match for the Intercontinental Championship tonight. Says throwing some men over the ropes is one thing, but in order to prove you're worthy of the Intercontinental Championship, you need to be able to pin someone. I think that's a bit bold coming from McMahon, who decided to involve himself in the Raw Rumble. That was a surprising and almost disgusting display from McMahon, who has, I think, honestly gone a little bit too far as of late. And in our main event tonight, the former #1 contender, The Miz, will get another opportunity to face off against The Rock one-on-one, something I've got to be honest, I'm absolutely hoping we see. But on the other side of things, Bret Hart, who has absolutely been wronged, will be facing off against The Miz, and will be renewing a rivalry with The Rock. Either way, one of those two men renewing a historical rivalry with The Rock. Bret Hart, always in pursuit of The Rock whilst he was Intercontinental Champion, could become WWE Champion instead. Or The Miz could be on to #2. Either way, Night of Champions could be shaping up to be a very big night for the Raw roster. No idea on what the other two matches at Night of Champions will be just yet, but I'm sure we'll find out in due time. We still have 4 weeks until Night of Champions, to be fair. Uh-oh. Slow storage device causing suboptimal video quality. The video might be getting a bit messed up. Big suplex stunner there by R-Truth. Could the former light heavyweight champion pin the current light heavyweight champion? He's got the shoulders down, and Jericho with a kick out there. Jericho caught R-Truth. What's he going to do here? Okay, spun him out, and Jericho with a code breaker. I don't know what Truth was thinking there. I never know what Truth is thinking. And oh, a kick out.
He leaps into the air for a flying forearm. R-Truth.
Some point, Jericho got busted open at the hands of R-Truth.
He's in desperation here. Oh, what a painful kick. Chris Jericho in total control again, and the expression has suddenly changed.
Truth doesn't even know what to do.
Everything he has. What a fierce kick.
Jericho, I think, really shocked a lot of people last week when he not only came here to Raw, but he won the light heavyweight championship from Justin Gabriel, who, hot off of that successful defense against Heath Slater, I think a lot of people were rooting for Gabriel. We're now about to see the walls of Jericho. Yeah, he's got them locked in all right. R-Truth, nowhere to go. Is this going to be enough? I think Truth might just be able to reach the ropes. He's getting that. Yeah, there you go. R-Truth with a rope break. And Jericho runs in. There's a second code breaker onto R-Truth. And Jericho going in for the cover. And excuse me? Oh, Truth with a roll up. Is this going to be enough? Jericho switches it over. Is this going to be enough? No. Okay, we got another roll through, and that is that. Big suplex there by R-Truth. My God, he is not letting up. Wants to make Booker proud. Those two could be champions here on Raw. Truth could earn himself a light heavyweight championship shot. Oh. Jericho getting real vicious now.
What an amazingly gifted maneuver. Jericho looking for something big.
What is Jericho doing? Jericho, what is the need for this? Jericho locking in this submission hold on the outside. Absolutely brutal. Truth tapping out. Jericho. Another code breaker. Oh, God. Jericho, like it's nothing, just stepping back into the ring. I guess he was happy to take that win in any means necessary, and with Truth kicking out of the code breaker twice, I think frustration boiled over. Jericho getting real vicious there. It's definitely not the way I wanted to see that one end, but Chris Jericho is victorious nonetheless. As we move towards our next match of the night, a #1 contenders match for the Women's Championship. Stephanie McMahon takes on Layla. I'd love to know how Stephanie plans to make it out of this one. Finally a contender. Well, Layla has got a big opportunity here tonight. She's really wanted a one-on-one Women's Championship opportunity, something that I don't believe she's ever actually had. And what better than her ally slash, I guess frenemy really is the best term, Tiny Shiny. You know, there's only one goal for the women's division here on Raw and over on SmackDown, and that is a singles title. There is no tag team division for the women. So a friendship will only get you so far, and I think Layla knows that she's got to put herself first in this situation and try to get the gold.
And approaching the ring, accompanied by Mr. McMahon from Greenwich, Connecticut, Stephanie McMahon.
The Attitude Minitron really works well with this arena. Wow, I like that. That's good. I mean, I guess that would make sense. It's just this arena wasn't in the game. I had to make it myself, as you can probably tell from the apron. I did my best. Oh, Stephanie McMahon hardly comes to the ring dressed like a wrestler. And look who's in her corner. I guess that's her ace up her sleeve. Keep the Raw general manager, your daddy, in the corner, and I guess things would be a little bit easier for you. To some extent. Mr. McMahon going to be watching on from ringside. I mean, the last time he was at ringside, I believe these two faced off. Stephanie still lost by countout. So I don't know exactly what Mr. McMahon plans to do differently here tonight to change this one. But there's only so many times he can turn the Women's Championship match into a triple threat or a four-way or whatever and throw Stephanie into the mix. At some point, he's just got to go, hey, maybe my daughter's not good enough.
Oh, did you see the neck snap back? The quick kick.
She's got some moves on her, don't get me wrong, but that is very much a woman still in training.
Turned inside out. Intercepted.
She wants to be a little further along than she is. Speaking of people who want to be further along than they are, Shane McMahon was absolutely livid that he didn't win the Royal Rumble last week. Says it was in the books, it was the way things were supposed to go. It was supposed to be Shane McMahon, Intercontinental Champion, in honor of the champion that came before him, The Rock. I suppose that would make sense. You know, you talk about the association that we saw at the end of SummerSlam. The Legacy and Shane McMahon working together against Randy Orton, who was then cashed in on by The Rock. Rock celebrating with the McMahons. It's clear the Legacies are in on this. Mr. McMahon, you know, he may fancy himself a future Intercontinental Champion from entering in that Raw Rumble, but you got to think about it realistically. It was it's a bit of a misstep, whereas you look at people like Shane McMahon and the Legacy, they are active competitors here on Raw. I mean, admittedly, so is Stephanie. I think she's had a little bit of time away recently to try and train up, hone her skill a little bit. You know, she's not on the same level, and I don't mean that with any disrespect. It's just simply put, This is very much the Miss McMahon, the boss, dragging his daughter into a ring and trying to make her work. I mean, I think there's some passion there. I think this is something she wants to do. She wants to make her father proud. She wants to win the Women's Championship, but it's going to take a lot. From the position that she is in, it's going to take a lot to overcome some of the women here on Raw. People like Layla, people like Tiny Shiny, people like Natalya and Trish Stratus. You know, there's some very determined women here on Raw. You talk about one woman who has never held the Women's Championship. You got Layla and Trish Stratus spring to mind. Two women that I think absolutely want their shot at the championship in this universe. As we see here, a big slap across the face by Stephanie. Her father up on the apron. We see a cover, and that is not enough. I don't think that was ever gonna be enough. You ain't gonna win off of a slap. Not unless your hand's the size of the Big Show. I've been told that in regards to the #1 contenders match for the World Tag Team Championship, which is next, there has been no sign of the Disciples of Darkness. They are not present backstage tonight. It seems no one can get a hold of them. We don't really know what's going on there, but I don't know what that means for the #1 contenders tag team championship situation. You know, the former champion should absolutely have a rematch. They shouldn't even have to earn it, but it sounds like they might not even get their chance to earn it. The count out would still be a #1 contenders victory. That could be the way Stephanie is looking to go at things, just like Chris Jericho did at the start of the night. Very vicious move there by Layla into those steel steps. McMahon really trying to cheer his daughter on to get her going, but she's dazed. Okay, well, what better way to wake up than with a slap to the face? Into the ring goes Layla. There's a jawbreaker by Layla. Had Stephanie McMahon stunned. Yep, here we go again indeed. Stephanie McMahon striking that off. Is this a pedigree? Shades of the first ever WWE champion here on Raw, Triple H. Has Stephanie McMahon actually won a match? No, and Miss McMahon, oh my god, he's livid. He wanted that to be 3 so bad. Well, that may be Stephanie looking, Layla looking to repeat history. She's throwing Stephanie out of the ring. Can only mean perhaps another barricade break, another count-out loss in the future. Stephanie McMahon. I think Layla is making a mistake here by fixating on trying one thing. One thing that never works. Layla catches Stephanie. And here we see the layout. Is that going to be enough to get the job done? Layla with that devastating neck breaker she calls the layout. Here's the cover. Is this the end of the match? Stephanie kicked out at 2. My goodness. This is more than we've seen from her in the past. Man, you can see it. Man is practically tearing his hair out there. He wants so badly to see her pick up a victory. I don't think she has yet. Not in one-on-one anyway. Maybe a 6-woman tag. McMahon now distracting the referee. You see a stretch out here on Layla. No, that's not going to be enough. What is Miss McMahon doing? Did he just get in the ring? Okay. Thankfully, he got out of the ring pretty quickly too. McMahon now up on the ropes. once again, ref not exactly too impressed with his boss right now, but he's got to do his job, even if that is his boss. And Stephanie, hold on a minute here. Stephanie McMahon exposing the turnbuckle. She did, I swear. I don't know why it's back. And oh, Layla's back, just whipping off of her. Stephanie going for a second pedigree. And she might actually get this with a lot of help from an exposed turnbuckle. Layla kicks out.
And did you hear the impact on that kick? What a fierce kick.
Woman is not going down without one hell of a fight.
Stephanie connected there. Stephanie McMahon is really what a backbreaker.
Oh, backbreaker is right.
A sharp kick.
Layla kick to the midsection. Devastating DDT. McMahon is not too thrilled at what he is seeing here. Oh. Once again, the layout, and look who's up on the apron. Roll up attempt here on Stephanie McMahon. Miss McMahon. Sorry, there's a lot of the word McMahon here. Just about able, and oh no, not again. Oh wow. Okay, that might just be enough. The hands on the rope. Wow, I tell you, Layla is finding every way possible to stay in this one. Referee knows he can't kick the boss from ringside very easily. Roll-up attempt here once again by Layla. Stephanie McMahon's shoulders on the mat, but there's a kick out. This has been a very surprising situation. Shoulder first into the ring post.
The big boot connects. Hey, I'm the one that's supposed to sweep Layla off her feet. And she gets to the ropes.
And it seems like no matter what Stephanie does, Layla has got a way to kick out or reach the ropes. Oh, and there's that big slap across the face once again. Stephanie really thinking she's going to put someone away with that one, and she almost did. These two women really feel like they got something to prove here. Oh my god, I think the referee actually ballsed up and kicked McMahon from ringside. You know, the threat to disqualify his daughter was enough to get that man out of here. This might actually work out for Layla after all. Stephanie's confidence seems shaken. Wait a minute, where is Layla going? I mean, where's Stephanie going? This is... You can't use that. This is not a no disqualification match.
And this is going to return to the ring.
Stephanie McMahon. Oh.
And did you hear the impact on that kick? The front cover here.
Cover attempt here by Layla, still not enough. And Stephanie, the referee pulled it out of the way. You could see what Stephanie was attempting there, but she couldn't quite get the job done. And here's the cover on Layla. And unfortunately, that was enough. Stephanie McMahon has actually earned a victory and a title opportunity, and could very well be the next women's champion. Give a lot of credit for Layla for enduring so much in this matchup, from constant distractions from Mr. McMahon to a steel chair almost colliding with her skull, multiple finishing maneuvers from a former WWE champion in Triple H. I think Layla really endured a lot before coming out on the losing end of things. And I think Stephanie definitely wouldn't have made it this far if it weren't for who was at ringside. And I have a bad feeling he's about to be at ringside a hell of a lot more when this woman is getting her shot at the Women's Championship at Night of Champions. Yeah, back here on Raw, the #1 Contenders match for the World Tag Team Championship is at hand. Still no sign of the Disciples of Darkness.
Team contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, the British Bulldog and the loose cannon.
This is going to be an interesting tag team matchup. I don't think we've really seen these two associated with one another, but of course Bret the Hitman Hart will be in our main event instead of this matchup. He'll be competing for an opportunity at the WWE Championship if he can defeat The Miz. Could be looking at the Hart Foundation draped in gold coming out of Night of Champions. So what is going to happen here with the Disciples of Darkness? Nowhere to be seen. They win by forfeit? What's the deal here? We are waiting. Oh. I guess we're just going to go for the next best team. The Great Khali and Jinder Mahal coming back into tag team competition. We haven't seen these two work together in a while. As a matter of fact, I believe one of them eliminated the other one in the Royal Rumble last week. We don't really know what the chemistry of these two is looking like right now, but I can't imagine it's too solid. The Great Khali took a little time away from Raw to go team with to go be the hardcore champion over on ECW. Got voted into a shot and won the title a few months back now, I'd say. But this should be a very interesting tag team matchup. Jinder Mahal and the Great Khali up against Bulldog and Pillman. I mean, these teams have crossed paths before. It's just it was Hart and Bulldog instead of Pillman and Hart. I mean, Pillman and Bulldog. Bulldog no stranger to these two. We're waiting for this tag team matchup to begin. Well, in a moment that I can only describe as classic, shitty, fucking smeared ass, stinking, rotten WWE 13, it has once again failed me. Brilliant. Be right back. Alright, we are back in action. I don't really know why it crashed last time, but it is British Bulldog up against Jinder Mahal to start things off in this tag team matchup. The Great Khali, quite a comforting thing to have in your corner, I'd imagine, in a match like this. Wait, why is Bret there? No, I picked Pillman.
Now bringing in his partner.
What the fuck?
A shining example of teamwork.
Here comes Brian Pillman. Oh my god, WWE 13. My god. My god, WWE 13. When will you change? I definitely picked Brian Pillman. But I'm just gonna roll with it. Because honestly, I kinda don't care at this point. This game pisses me off and it won't stop. Such a fucking bad game. Bulldog with the suplex. Not bad for a guy who got hit by a car a couple months ago. And here comes The Rock. What business does The Rock? I mean, it's bad enough you ran the guy down. WWE Champion The Rock is not scheduled to be on tonight's show. And here comes Bret Hart. Bret Hart is coming out. He's saving him. Bret Hart getting physical with The Rock. Cover him, Bulldog. Cover him. Here's the cover. 1, 2, 3, and this one's already over. The Hart Foundation working as a unit here tonight. The Rock trying to screw them out of this match. And I guess Pillman is, he's taken off. He's gone to go fight with the Great Khali on the outside. They kind of disappeared. I think they took their fight into the crowd. So Bret Hart and Bulldog going to celebrate this victory. Hart has not forgotten about his history with The Rock. And on top of that, finding out that The Rock is the reason that British Bulldog was run down, I'd say there is a lot of motivation for Bret Hart right now to get that WWE title opportunity. And we'll find out if he gets that after our next matchup. Booker T is set to defend the Intercontinental Championship for the first and what could be the last time as he faces an opponent selected by the Raw Roulette. We welcome you back here on Monday Night Raw. Here comes the new Intercontinental Champion. And what a sight to behold. Did you know that by holding the championship for a week straight, Booker T's reign is already 3.5 times longer than his first reign as Intercontinental Champion? I mean, that was a little bit of a mean statistic, but it was a statistic nonetheless. Booker T looks to successfully defend the Intercontinental Championship. He wants to make up for what his first reign was. And I gotta say, that belt does look right at home around the waist of Booker T. He has been a fan favorite. He has been rising the ranks. He had a great showing in a WWE Championship match with Randy Orton a couple months back. And here tonight he's got Raw Roulette on his hands. We'll see if Booker T can come out still Intercontinental Champion. Oh, an interesting result from Raw Roulette here. Jericho was one of the last 3 guys in the Raw Rumble. I believe he got the final entry in the Rumble, but was unsuccessful in winning it. And yet tonight he could maybe get a little bit of redemption over Booker T. Was Booker the final entrant? No, I think Booker was the final entrant. Was he? No. No, I think he was the second to last. Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Hunico was the final guy out. I could be wrong. Anyway, Hunico has got a very big opportunity in his hands, considering this man has only ever won 1 match. It was against Shane McMahon. Definitely carries himself like he's won a lot more than he has. That's what this one's all about, the Intercontinental Championship. What a sight to behold. What a prestigious championship. A lot of people view that as the most prestigious championship in the business today. Now, that's not to say that it's, you know, of greater importance and significance than a world title, because that would be a bit of a bold statement to make. But in terms of successful defenses, in terms of lengthy reigns, no championship has had it better than the Intercontinental Championship. And Booker T going straight in with a kick as he dives right over the head of Hunico following that. Great offense from Booker T to start this one off. Such an exciting moment last week on Raw when he closed out Raw, the new Intercontinental Champion.
Look at that. Hunico was a step ahead.
Absolutely incredible, historical moment for Booker T.
Right there. Big slap to the chest. You hear how his leg connected? What an impact from that
You have to
kick.
think one day perhaps he will be one of those Intercontinental Champions that transitions into a WWE Champion.
He drops the elbow.
I'd love to see it.
Intercepted. Oh boy, Hunico turned that
Aggressive shove there by Hunico takes back control of the matchup.
Just a perfect
Still to come up next, Bret Hart faces off against The Miz for a WWE Championship opportunity. Both men desperate to get their hands on The Rock. I mean, Bret Hart certainly did moments ago, running out and saving his partners from an interference from The Rock, allowing them to still become contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. It will be British Bulldog and Brian Pillman up against the Legacy at Night of Champions in just 4 weeks' time. We also know that Stephanie McMahon will challenge for the Women's Championship in regards to Night of Champions. We still need to find out who the contender for the Intercontinental, Light Heavyweight, and WWE Championships are. We will find out the WWE Championship contender later on tonight. I'm sure Booker would love to know who the contender is for the Intercontinental Championship. It could be him. He could no longer be the champion. You can't rule out that possibility. I must admit, Unico is a rather unfortunate outcome in the Raw Roulette, and I mean that with all due respect to Unico. The guy just, let's say, he hasn't got the best track record. This does feel like a bit of an easy first hurdle for Booker T to overcome. But that's not to say that an underdog victory isn't completely off the table. Here's a cover by Booker, and that's just a 1 count. And that big heel kick, and yeah, completely whiffed that one as usual. Comes off the rope.
To the side of that one.
Unico taking back control. A lot of people say someone like Unico should remain in the Light Heavyweight Championship division, that he should kind of stay in his lane. He disagrees. He says he can go wherever he damn well pleases. Now, truthfully, as I say, you know, I'm not trying to down talk the guy, but he hasn't had a lot of success thus far. He may want to listen to that criticism, but that is his own discretion. That's his own choice to make, and right now, he is getting the better of the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, what a painful kick. And did you hear the impact on that kick? He's wearing down the midsection. And once again, it's Booker T with the advantage.
Unico begging Booker to stop. Oh, wow, what a kick to the face. And there's a slam by Booker. The Intercontinental Champion going in for the cover. Unico with the kick out, and Booker T kick to the midsection. Here you go. And there's an axe kick. Scissors kick. Sometimes it's an axe, sometimes it's a scissor. I didn't see him throw the other leg up. That looked like an axe to me. And a kick out. And an interesting reversal there by Unico. Elbows across the chest of Booker. Ooh, stomps the elbow. Unico getting very vicious here with Booker. Booker is back in this one. Gets in the ring. Big kick to the head. Honestly, I love Booker T's super kick. He's got one of my favorites. And there you go. Intercontinental Champion all fired up. Are we going to see something big here from Unico? Yes, we are. It's like a Death Valley driver into the center of the ring. And Booker T kicks out at 1. I've got to say, it's going to take a lot more than just one simple move to put away this Intercontinental Champion. What camel clutch? What are you talking about? Unico really giving it his all here. He knows an opportunity like this doesn't come up every day. Raw Roulette ain't always going to land on Unico. Admittedly, it has quite a few times, but it ain't always going to. Booker T up the top. What is Booker going to do? Oh! Nice move there by Booker T. And here's the bookend. Cover here by Booker. Intercontinental Championship successfully retained. What a performance. Pure heart and grit from the Intercontinental Champion. Gotta give credit where due though. Unico did a lot better than I thought he would. That is a match you do not want to sleep on. Really great performance from both guys. There you have it. Booker T is still Intercontinental Champion coming out of this one. I think Night of Champions, in my mind, would be his next stop, but I'd love to see who it is that's going to step up and challenge him for his championship at Night of Champions. He actually looks like Booker T there. That's weird. As we move towards our main event, The Miz set to face off against Bret Hart. The winner will be #1 contender to The Rock's WWE Championship.
Is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 234 pounds.
Bret the Hitman Hart. Why do you just stop randomly, you god-awful ring announcer? Bret Hart making his way to the ring here tonight. I gotta say, real big fight feel. Bret Hart and The Miz set to go one-on-one. You gotta wonder if there was ever an apology from the Hart Foundation towards The Miz. I mean, the guys did kind of brutally beat the guy 3-on-1 for something he didn't do. We all kind of owe Miz an apology. There was a very negative stigma towards The Miz for quite some time here on Raw. I mean, obviously he does have a pretty bad track record, but in this one situation, yeah, he was completely and utterly innocent, and I do think that justice needs to be given. I think these fans need to maybe think about, some kind of way to make it up to The Miz. The longest reigning WWE Champion in history. And there's a very different reception. The Miz is in quite the predicament right now. I mean, he wants that WWE Championship and he wants it bad, and it is in possession of a man that, this time last year, he was taunting. He was screwing with as best as he could. The Rock was determined to become a WWE Champion. He was a hard-working fighter, and he just couldn't quite overcome The Miz and his cheating tactics. But you look forward to now, I think The Miz has really matured over the last year. I think since coming here to Raw, you look at the actions of The Miz, there's not really been anything too dastardly that The Miz has done. I mean, yeah, he came to Raw in a surprise addition to the championship scramble, and he won the Intercontinental Championship in honor of his tag team partner who walked down to the company with the former Intercontinental Championship. I wouldn't necessarily say that's the most dastardly thing that could have been done. He didn't really... Okay, he did hurt Justin Gabriel, and he did then continue to kind of beat on Justin Gabriel quite a bit. But the point I'm trying to make is that for the most part, I feel like The Miz is really mature. This is the first time we've seen him flying solo. He's not been relying on anybody else. It's just been his own work, his own grit, his own determination that has made him, try to become a bigger and better star here on Raw than he was last year on SmackDown. And okay, so far, he has not become WWE Champion again. He has not successfully recaptured that glory. But there is one roadblock that has suddenly taken a complete 180, and I feel like we've seen these two completely switch roles, and that is that The Rock seems to pretty much completely have become the man he hated. He seems to be entirely what The Miz was last year, and I feel like The Miz being able to face the monster that he was last year in the form of a different superstar, I think has really gotten through to The Miz, and I think he now realizes what he was doing last year. Now, the statistic still remains. The Miz is the longest reigning WWE Champion in history thus far. And that is, of course, a record I'm sure he'll gladly tell you about any day of the week. But I would love to see this version of The Miz. A man with integrity, a man with heart and guts, face off against The Rock at Night of Champions and capture that WWE Championship. We saw a great performance from him against Randy Orton at SummerSlam. No funny tactics, no funny business, nothing at all. Just a simple one-on-one matchup. The Miz seems to be neither, I'd say, honestly, I think the best way to describe The Miz, he's neither a good guy nor a bad guy. This guy sits right in the middle, and I think he fits that role to a T. He's not looking at making any friends anymore. The Miz just wants to rule. And honestly, I think it's the right mindset to have to become a world champion. You can't rely on others, you know. The Rock can be a corporate ass kisser until the cows come home, but at some point that's going to backfire on him. At some point, McMahon's going to get bored and he's going to want a new toy. We've seen this before. This is a deadly and timed situation for the corporate champion, The Rock. And I think The Miz absolutely wants to step up. But that being said, you look at Bret Hart, you look at what he's been through this year. Since coming back on, or coming to the scene, I should say, sorry. He was supposed to be in Season 1, but he just couldn't get things to work out. But since coming to the scene, you look at Bret Hart's track record with The Rock. That is someone that he has crossed paths with quite a few times. He has wanted to get that Intercontinental Championship so bad. I think things have gotten more personal now. It's not about the Intercontinental Championship anymore. Now it's about the WWE Championship. It's about The Rock. Coming off the top with a big superplex. Goes into the pin, and I was going to say that's the logical follow-up to that dropkick attempt at The Miz. Ducks it. You are looking at two of Raw's finest in the ring right now, absolutely deserving of this main event spot. There is no doubt in my mind that at some point, and I hope in the near than the far future, Bret Hart will be a singles champion, and The Miz will be a champion again. Right hands across the face of Bret Hart. You think about The Miz's accolades so far in the WWE since we started back in 2009. You think about what he's accomplished. First ever Intercontinental Champion in history. Had it for what I think is still the record. Oh no, sorry, that was beaten by his friend, who we cannot name. But he did hold the record for quite a long time as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. He was the first ever WWE Tag Team Champion with Chris Jericho. Went on to win that championship another 2 more times. And he is the longest reigning WWE Champion in history. Yeah, I'd say The Miz has had a pretty nice set of accolades to his name. Former Money in the Bank winner as well. Miz claims he accomplished everything there was to achieve over on SmackDown, and that this move to Raw was going to be everything else he needed to cross off. As we see there, that devastating face plant into the mat by The Miz, a signature move of his, but unfortunately it's going to take a lot more than that to put away Bret Hart, is what I'm saying.
And it's no wonder that Bret Hart is considered one of the best technical.
Bret going in for the cover very quick here, really wants to put this one away fast, you know. He got his hands on The Rock earlier on in the night, and I think he really wants that altercation with The Rock. He wants, you know, he wants Night of Champions so bad. Honestly, I don't know how much it's about the WWE Championship, how much it's about just getting his hands on The Rock. He's tying up Bret Hart. He's not going to out-technical Bret Hart, but he can certainly try. Miz now calling for the skull-crushing finale. Got him, and I think he just whipped his head off the ropes. This one could already be over. Bret Hart could be down and out. You don't doubt the Hitman. My God, you do not see a lot of people kick out of that one that fast. Endurance is the name of the game, and it is something that Bret Hart specializes in. He is a submission expert, and with that comes a great knowledge and understanding of endurance. Bret now trying to stretch out the Miz. You see how he keeps working those limbs. He's setting up for the sharpshooter. He knows he's not going to get the Miz to tap out with an abdominal stretch. He knows it's going to take a lot more than a submission hold this simple to put the Miz away. He knows the Miz, you know, longest reigning WWE champion in history. It says all it needs to.
What strength fighting his way out.
Miz reverses out of that. Goes straight into a cover. A very bold move there. And now Bret, oh, here we go. Bret Hart with a pile driver straight to the Miz. No joy there for Bret Hart. Bret really getting the best of the Miz right now as we see this roll-up attempt. And Miz turns it over. Bret Hart with a kick out. Like he hurt his arm somehow in that exchange. And now Bret going for a roll-up of his own. Is this going to be the finishing point in the match? Miz with a rollover, and again Bret kicks out. He's been taking a lot of strain off the arm to unlock from that small package roll-up. Bret Hart is calling for something big here. The Miz up to his feet, turns him around, and Bret, oh, a second one. A second pile driver. My God, just spiking the head. Bret not even going for the cover. He is being ruthless. He knows what he's got to do to best the Miz. Bret Hart dragging the Miz to the center of the ring. Got the legs. Here we go. Sharpshooter time. The Miz locked in this finishing move of Bret Hart. Can the Miz reach the ropes? This is getting close. And the Miz so close, but he was forced to tap out. Bret Hart is going to Night of Champions to challenge The Rock for the WWE Championship. And after the interaction we saw earlier in the night, I am very much looking forward to this. And here comes The Rock now. Rock going straight for Bret and The Miz. Rock got to make sure this show is all about him. What a sickening display. The WWE Champion just can't let him be off the scene for one night. Wow, what a way to close out Monday Night Raw. I was not expecting to see such a sudden attack from The Rock. Miz really gave it his all there. Bret Hart is the #1 contender, and it will be Bret and The Rock for the WWE Championship at Night of Champions. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight on Raw. I will see you guys tomorrow night with ECW.